This is the 1 month overview reading for Boeing for the month of July 2022. It's currently June 29th, 2022, 10:32 p.m. So the overall theme and behavior for the month is the gain card. So this is a bullish month. It's crossed with victory, which is a breakout, at least one breakout. So we should see a good gain this month in Boeing, and a breakout should be highlighted at some point. We'll look a little bit closer here. Behavior around the high, behavior around the high, indolence. So generally speaking, what was cause for bullish sentiment at one point it's abandoned due to disillusionment. And we see a decline through a support level that is often preceded by a significant high or notable rally, often preceded by a high that will not be revisited within the current specified time frame, so within July. And then out of the low, we have a notable move higher. Likely, it's a strong bullish move, likely from being overbought, from being oversold, or possibly filling like a gap up, or like there was a gap down, so we're filling that gap by moving up. On the first, we have selling from near overbought territory on RSI. There's a trade opportunity, a swing trade opportunity in the midst of some volatility. There's an opportunity to position oneself on both sides of the market, so a straddle or strangle position using options, or possibly puts and long shares. There's one local high on the first, and what I mean by local high. What I mean by local high is that if you look at a one-day chart, I'm sorry guys. If you look at a one-day chart, you're going to see one prominent high on that one-day chart. All right, then we have the fourth. Markets closed on the fifth. Range is somehow. I believe we probably have a gap down there, and then we move higher off of it's range bound, but looks like we're at the bottom end of a range towards the end of the day on the 5th. We have a breakout somewhere between the 6th and the 7th. It looks like we have a breakout. There's a lot going on here, so looks like we meet the upper end of a range, or we go like higher towards the end of the 6th, and then there's a decline out of like the end of the day on the 6th from a resistance where we have consecutively lower spikes up on the way down, and that's like overnight. There's a notable move or gap down. It's either a gap down Saturday on the 7th in the morning, or we have a big move higher on the 7th, or it could be both, but it looks like gap down overnight on the 6th and the 7th with a big move higher, and a breakout towards the end of the day on the 7th. Interesting. So we have a low correlator on the 8th, but I don't believe that the low correlator is actually there on the 8th. Huh. Wow, that's tricky. So we either have a month's high here on the end of the 8th, or we have a month. We probably have a month's high at the end of the day on the 7th, and early in the morning on the 8th. And then we either have a drop there to a prominent trough on the 8th with sideways fluctuations with a bearish trend that precedes a sharp rally. The other possibility is that we continue higher and then we see that move kind of like a gap down over the weekend. But we have both a month's high and a prominent month's trough somewhere here between like the 8th and the 11th. There's a lot of volatility on the 11th. Looks like we meet the upper end of a range. There's a resistance that we meet, and then we break down with increasing volatility on the way down as we move forward through the 11th. There's a trade opportunity in the midst of that volatility to play both sides of the market. There's a lot of money that can be made at the end of the day on the 8th. We have on the 11th. We have 3 local highs, 2 local lows, and a day trade opportunity. We also have a swing. I left out that we have a swing trade opportunity on the 8th, as well as 1 local low, and the local low happens after there's 3 pokes through a price level, and then after the 3rd poke, there's a sharp decline to the local low. The swing trade opportunity happens in the around a sudden dip within a period of volatility. I'm sorry, guys. Something in my throat. Looks like we have a big move to one of the local highs, a big move higher to one of the local highs, and then from the other 2 local highs, there's a notable decline. One of those from overbought territory on RSI. Trade opportunity on the 11th. We have a sudden dip within a period of rallying, and then a trade opportunity to position oneself to play both sides of the market there as well. There's 2 local lows in there on the 11th. One after a failed attempt to break through key resistance, and then a decline through support. The other one when we meet resistance and then we break down with increasing volatility, increasing momentum as we move forward in time to reach that local low. There's volatility in there, guys. So local high, so a month's high and a month's low within close proximity to each other here between like the 8th and the 11th. Excuse me. We have a notable decline from what looks like a crest towards the end of the day on the 12th. We have a swing trade opportunity in the midst of some sideways price swings with a bullish trend on the 13th, and the completion of a rally that takes place there on the 13th. There's a notable move higher with multiple false. Now there's something tricky going on the 14th, but there's a notable move higher on the 14th. 1 local low, out of which there's a notable move higher. There's also, in the midst of that move higher, there's an opportunity to open up a short position, protect against long positions. Looks like we have a breakout there as well, somewhere around the 14th. A notable breakout. It may be a fake out based on the prudence card. On the 15th, we have 2 prominent moves, in a move higher and then a move lower that fully retraces the move higher, and there'll be prominent moves. Looks like at the end of the day we have a trade, a cash-in opportunity, or a move that creates a good opportunity to trade. a high there, possibly at the end of the week. And a cash out opportunity there. A swing trade opportunity on the 18th. There's a major fake out, an intentional fake out or shakeout of some sort there on the 18th, so be careful, be wary of that on the 18th. There's one local high, one local low. The local high, there's a notable decline out of that local high. The local low marks an opportunity. The local low forms when we meet resistance and then break down from that resistance with increasing volatility on the way down. The swing trade opportunity is an opportunity to position oneself to play both sides of the market using options or like a straddle or strangle, or possibly long puts and long shares. On the 19th, we have sideways fluctuation along a support level. One local high, from which there's a notable decline. On the 20th, we have a breakout correlated to the victory card here. So we have a breakout. There's bumping up along resistance. There's a majority of the day, and then there's a breakout in the midst of that bumping along resistance. We have another prominent high for the month here on the 21st, a high or a prominent crest, I should say, one of the two. And there's one local high and a day trade opportunity in here, it looks like. One local high, we have selling from overbought territory on RSI, and it's a notable decline within possible bearish price swings there. Midday, something important midday there. Looks like a decline there midday to a low. And the day trade opportunity to position oneself in both directions or play both sides of the market. The other trade there involves a sudden dip within a rally. On the 22nd, we have a day trade opportunity as well. One trade within the midst of some sideways price swings with a bullish trend, and the other one when there's a sudden dip within a rally. The majority of the day, though, for the 22nd is going to be notable declines, falling from that peak or crest of the 21st. We attempt to establish support on the 25th. There's one local high, one local low, and a trade opportunity. The local low we have forming after we meet a resistance level and breakdown with increasing volatility as we move forward into it. Opportunity to play both sides of the market again here is the trade opportunity, and then we have a notable decline off of the day's local high as well. On the 26th, we have a move higher through resistance. We stay there briefly, and then we break back down through that same price level. On the 27th, a prominent decline to a month's low, or a prominent trough there on the 27th. A swing trade opportunity there as well in the midst of a sharp dip within a period of volatility. And that one local low or prominent month's trough there happens after three failed attempts to break through key resistance, or through the same price level, I should say. After that third poke, there's a notable decline. On the 28th, we have out of the decline a big move from bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range. But then again, on the 29th, we have another prominent month's low or trough, possibly revisiting the same low there that we had on the 27th. And we have the same type of trade opportunity in the midst of a sudden dip within a period of volatility. The low happens when we have three pokes through the same price level followed by a sharp decline to meet the low. Sneak preview for the following month. We successfully turned resistance into support. So it's very bullish. Looks like we continue onward into July into bullish move for Boeing. This is a pretty bullish chart, guys. Even though we have lows there at the end of the month, definitely looks like both of those lows at the end of the month are opportunities to open up long positions as well. So this is a bullish chart, my friends. Boeing is bullish. I'm bullish on Boeing based on this chart for July. If you like this, guys, Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. That's really the best way to show us some support. You can also, if there's an affiliate link in our description, you're interested in buying this stock, you do so through the affiliate link. I'm not sure if we'll have one there or not. But in any case, guys, most importantly, keep that money flowing. Pay it forward. And I'll see you on the next one.